Rosemary Anderson is the national chairperson of FEDHASA, and she joins us now to give us a sense of how the hospitality industry is currently doing this festive season as holiday makers are traveling across the globe and the country. Rosemary, great having you with us on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. So your organization plays quite a pivotal role in the tourism sector, hospitality sector, including from lobbying, advocacy to representation, just among some of your many outputs. But the industry took quite a hard knock during the start of the COVID pandemic, and the effects of that are still largely being felt across most sectors in the globe. So how are we currently faring in terms of clawing back on being the destination of choice for tourists across the globe?
Alicia, nice to be with you today. There's actually a mixture of experiences. You'll have areas like the Western Cape, particularly Cape Town, who are seeing numbers that they'd never seen before, record positive numbers. Mpumalanga is doing quite well. Some parts of Gauteng are also doing well. But other parts of our country, like KZN, Drakensberg, some of our other provinces, we're still struggling. We're still not up to our pre-COVID international arrival numbers. In fact, we're about 19% down on our pre-COVID numbers internationally. So we've still got some work to do, but if we compare ourselves year on year, we're looking really good. Our November numbers are up 5% from November 23. We obviously don't have the December numbers yet, so we are very positive, Alicia.
Very good news indeed there, Rosemary. So let's talk about some of the challenges that you are referring to, particularly when we're talking about some of the provinces that you've outlined, like KwaZulu-Natal, that are still seeing quite a decline in terms of tourist numbers. What challenges is the industry still grappling with as it seeks to regain its strength? I mean, elections were held earlier this year, Rosemary. We know that political stability is somewhat certain at this stage, meaning investors are looking at boosting and also injecting all the needed capital in ensuring a thriving sector.
Yes, they are. I think worldwide, obviously, there was a just total relook at the way one did things. And we've almost all had to reinvent ourselves. And I think this is where Cape Town particularly have done very well they've really put the effort in. I think there's a lot of healthy competition going on now between the different cities and provinces. And in their defense, they've put a huge amount of effort in. And I think the same, all of our other provinces, we also need to put the effort in. I think from KZN's point of view, there's lots of very positive things happening there. Club Med, which, as you know, is a world-famous international French company, of all the beautiful places they could choose in South Africa, they've actually chosen Belito area, Durban type of area in KZN, to actually put the first Club Med in South Africa. So that's very exciting, and it definitely is a boost to the area. And I really believe that that's going to be the catalyst to kickstart Durban and KZN again. We'll all remember that Durban used to be our premier holiday destination spot, and Cape Town was more like the poor cousin. I'm talking back in like the 1980s, 70s, 80s. And things have got somewhat reversed, but the beautiful beaches, the weather in Durban, which is very difficult to beat, I can definitely see Durban and KZN coming up now. And also from a tourist point of view, there are so many good packages and offerings there at the moment. So you don't want to go to places which are really busy at the moment, rather go to areas which you know that you'll get really marvelous. I mean, there's even all-inclusive packages, 3 meals a day, some beverages included in Durban. Drakensberg have got amazing specials. So, you know, while the situation is as it is, as tourists, we're the ones that benefit.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking of those nice additions, I'm from KZN, Rosemary, so I do understand exactly what you're referring to there. So specifically focusing on the travelers, be it local or international now, what seems to be some of your key performance areas where you are actually seeing some positive uptick in terms of numbers of travelers? And what have you also identified as those performance areas to promote tourism? We know that big concerts featuring your global stars like Chris Brown, who was here just a week ago, were recently hailed for being one of the biggest contributors to the sector.
Very much so. Whatever we do, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's business events, like next year we've got over 200 business events in South Africa. All of these things bring feet to our wonderful country. And people might be coming for that sporting event or the musician or the conference they're attending. But if they enjoy our experience being in South Africa, that's when they decide to come back again and bring their families. And that's why when they do come to our shores, we've got a dress to impress. And if I can also toot our own horn in South Africa, we've actually, as South Africa, got one of the highest return rates in the world of tourism destinations. So when people come here, they really, really enjoy it and they do come back.
We've got the biggest attractions. You are definitely right, Rosemary. So now we are currently in peak festive season. You and I'm sure, are already experiencing quite an influx of visitors, be it local or international. Tell us how you have put necessary measures in place so as to ensure that those visitors have an unforgettable experience when they do visit our beautiful country. And what do we have to offer? What is also most popular?
Well, Alicia, we don't only start now as the hospitality and tourism industry. We start months back, where we spend almost like, I'd say, 9 months preparing for this time. So we either introduce, put more hotel rooms on, or increase our guest house, or refurbish our beautiful lodge. Our restaurants, we totally redo them. So we put lots of effort into be like really, really looking very sharp come October, November, December, January. So we've been doing that for months and months. And also gearing up with staff. And if I can just have a little bit of that I'd like to talk about, Alicia, that's one thing that's so wonderful about our industry. Yes. We're very labor intensive. So we believe as FEDHASA, and I know our tourism minister also believes this, Minister Dillil, that we are the catalyst towards tremendous job creation in South Africa. If we can just attract more tourists to our shores, we can create so many more jobs. And that's what we're really excited about. So we're one of the few industries in the world that we're positive. It's a wonderful industry. It's a happy industry. When you go to a restaurant, or if you go to a hotel or a guest house or a lodge or a boutique hotel, you're not going for something miserable. You're going for something happy. It's to celebrate special occasions. And I think that's what's so wonderful about our industry. We get so excited about refurbishing, building more, having more options for guests to enjoy. And that's what we spend months doing, so that come summertime, we are ready, dressed to impress, to actually wow everyone. And if I can also just put a bit in there too, Alicia, you know, besides all the major centers, there are so many wonderful small towns and dorpies to enjoy.
Yes.
So if you are not into big crowds and you want to relax but have the best of everything. I mean, the beautiful towns, St. Lucia, Clarence, Kenton-on-Sea, Rhodes Village, Hogsback, Hoedspruit, Citrusdal, Bathurst, Arneson. We've got so many beautiful towns and dorpies in our country to explore. And often when you see report backs from international tourists who visit these destinations, they just rave about them, and they're there just a few hours away from many of us. So we really should support all of these small dorpies and really relish in the excellent service they give, because they don't receive as many visitors as our big centers do. They really go out to extra trouble to actually make us happy.
That is really great news, right, Rosemary? We've seen how the industry of local backpackers that cater specifically for those little trips between the provinces have actually upsurged as well. So it's quite a lot that is happening in this industry. So once again, thank you so much for your input this afternoon, and wish you all the best during this festive season. Ms. Rosemary Anderson there is the national chairperson of FEDHASA on the prospects of the hospitality industry this festive season.